Hey y'all. So, this has been a weekend, okay? Crying weekend, exact. You had crying on Friday, crying on Saturday, just got finished crying. So, Friday was the perfect neighbor. And if y'all have not seen that, y'all need to watch it. Because for me, I don't want to speak about it if a lot of people haven't watched it, but it was a lot for me on Friday because it's like one thing being able to be vulnerable and cry for another situation, but I think it really hit home and deep for me being able to look at a reflection of me and seeing, unfortunately, that's the world that we're living in now. So it makes you think, like, wow, this could really happen. Like, it's not something in the past, like it's current. I'm not going into detail. Y'all need to watch that if y'all haven't. But if y'all have, were we crying together? And now, Sunday, I was watching on Netflix the Madam CJ Walker, right? And for me, about the topic today, not being able to fulfill her dreams, right? I was looking at the part where Madam was speaking to her daughter and she was letting her know, like, she was sick and everything, and how she just pushed her to want to have a family and have children. And the daughter was just like, look, like, she was not leaning into that, and she's like, I these are your dreams, it's not mine. And honestly, like, that really hit home for me because I didn't want to speak about it until I was ready, but now I think I am. Like, I actually had a miscarriage in 2014, and I really thought that I recovered from it, and I still think I did, but sometimes I feel like, are you sure? And in terms of my mom, I feel like all she wanted for me was to, sit here, get married, have a family, and stuff like that. And it's like I'm looking at my age. And honestly, after watching Madam, I really feel like I failed my mom. I really do. I just had like a whole breakdown, feeling like I failed my mom. Okay, but after thinking about it, and like, the reason why I'm sharing this is because, as always, like, you never know what other people are dealing with or what other people are trying to push through with. And on this topic, I do not have the answers, and it's probably other women out there. I'm not even trying to just place it under women. Who knows? It's probably men out there too that you probably want to have a family too, and you probably could have came across some things as well. But for all of us out there, I want to say it's very unfortunate, but it's like you have to look at things. You have to look at things in another sense. You have to view it differently. Like, are you trying to sit here and do what needs to be done for someone else? Or if this is truly for you? Or is this like, this is what I want, but it's not working? And even in terms of that, it's kind of like I always say, you need to take that time out and sit here and heal properly. You know what I'm saying? Like, healing makes so much of a difference. Maybe all that you've been through, and I'm not even gonna just sit here and try to put it as just because I had a miscarriage years ago. You guys could really be going through something and it has nothing to do with that. But anything that you're going through, it's kind of like you have to sit here and make sure you put yourself first. And for me personally, I feel like putting yourself first comes with being able to heal. And I'm not saying heal over a situation. I'm talking about healing overall. You have to heal past the things that broke you in certain parts of your life, because when you wouldn't want to come across a good situation and you see things that remember you of your past, and you're just like, you know what, I'm good off it, I'm not even trying to get in that. And that's not okay, because what if you're missing out on something that God sat here and gave to you? Like, hey, this is really your blessing and it's here for you. Just like in the other episode I spoke about. Maybe I'm thinking, no, I don't want to say maybe. I know this is for a fact. Certain things that you've been working hard on, sometimes they don't work out because you're not ready. You have not healed enough to receive it. And even though I feel the way that I do after watching what I saw this weekend, I feel like certain things that I want, it's not really coming across because maybe I have not healed past all of these traumas that I didn't even know that I had. That's another thing. We need to make sure that we heal entirely, okay? Because you can't heal from trauma A and still be broken from trauma 2 and trying to have a healthy life. Happy life. Healthy too. But we just need to heal overall, because I started my healing process and I do see little things like they don't bother me. And I'm just like, you know what? It wasn't for me. If it was, God would have allowed. You know what I'm saying? And healing for me, it's like it's something totally different. I feel like when you heal, you have a new vision. You look at things differently. And the way you accept or decline certain things, like that's entirely different. If I have my day ones up here, yeah, I know my tone, and I did have an attitude. I no longer do anymore, because it's kind of like being angry all the time. Being angry for what? You're mad, you're yelling, you're cursing, you're doing all of that. Okay, nice. Do you feel okay? You feel okay temporarily. Because if you haven't healed past doing all of that, everything in life is going to break you. That's why I have these steps. The first step, I would say, take that time out and remember like everything, jot down everything and read what was to what is now. When you're seeing what broke you in the past, how does that make you feel? You know what I'm saying? Like, are you able to say, oh, okay, I was a different version of me, like that really broke me. But now I can look back at that and be like, you know what? That had to happen to make me into what I am today. You know what I'm saying? Like, God is pushing through, okay? God is pushing through, but even though God is pushing through, are you at a place in your life where you're able to sit here and accept it? When the things that you want, God is letting you know, like, look, this ain't for you. Are you placing yourself in a position to be like, wow, I really didn't want things to go through like that and to fail like that, but I trust you. So when things fail, if your faith is like that with God, you need to understand my plan is not working. You have to give all to God so he can come through you, and your moves are moves of God. It's a part of your path that God has for you. And it took me forever to figure that out. And I've just been trying to sit here and do things on my own. And I can only imagine how God be like, what are you doing? That's not where you need to be. That's not where you're going. So, yeah, I'm just like, sometimes when you sit here and carry the weight of the world, the weight of your family, the weight of your friends, the weight of your spouse, like that can get very exhausting because you come down to a point like, hey, what about me? When am I going to get something? But even if you have to sit here and acts of that nature, I'm just learning this. That tells you more. Why would you even have to ask? You know what I'm saying? And why are you sitting here carrying the weight of others? You need to focus on you because if you are broken, you cannot help anyone else out there. You can't. If no one's going to say it, I'm going to say it. Stop trying to push what you have going on to help the next person. Because ultimately, think about it like this. Once they get where they going, who's really going to sit here and come back to you to make sure you're okay? If we're technically speaking, sometimes you can come across people once they make it. It's kind of like, cool, I'm good. I hope you get better though. You know what I'm saying? Like everything's gonna work out. And I want us to stop wasting well, I don't want to say wasting because it's always great to help others and I love helping others, so it's not wasted. Well, currently, if you are on your healing journey and you're trying to get you in order, you have to place yourself as number one. A lot of people will look at that as being selfish, and it's not. Because if I'm trying to be the best person for you to help you what you got going on, I got to make sure I'm the best person for me. Because how am I going to be the best when I don't even feel like I am the best? That's why I tell y'all it's okay to sit here and take a break and sit here and find who you are again because you wouldn't want to be in a messed up place trying to help the next person. Because think about it, you could be given information and you wouldn't even want to do that. And trying, oh, wait, I'm gonna still keep going. But did y'all know venting is a sin? Mm. I gotta look in my Bible and look for the book, the verse, and the scripture. But I just found that out yesterday. Venting is a sin. That's ridiculous. So that means I've been sinning all my life. Well, I still been sinning all my life, but I thought like venting and like talking to others, it's the way that you speak about it. If you're speaking about it in an honest manner and it's not so much of the rah rah, I think that's okay, but I'm gonna get back to y'all on that. But sorry, I meant to tell y'all that yes, venting is a sin. That is crazy. But back on topic, it's just like you have to be honestly, you have to be at peace with you before you're available to anyone else because you wouldn't want to sit here and not give the best advice. Because think about it, what you're giving out, you got to look at the situation. You could have been in the same situation, but there is no one out here like you. So the way you think and the way you move, you're not going to come across anyone like that. So the information that you're giving out, it could probably work for your situation, but what if you give that out to someone else and it could either make it better or make it worse. And you wouldn't want anyone to come back and be like, look, I did exactly what you said and it didn't work. But then again, it's like, it's advice. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm giving you advice so you can think on it and move accordingly. But yeah, we really need to be one with ourselves and get right with God. And that faith has to be like A1 because I'm telling you, when you really sit here and surrender and say, I'm not trying to live life as my own anymore, I am living through you, Lord. I promise you, you feel so at peace. Like, it's like little things that used to bother you, they no longer bother you. And your life starts getting better. Once you surrender and listen to what God is saying, stay connected, that connection is something different because, mind you, I'm still in my healing process. And anytime I disconnect and want to live my life the way I am, everything trembles, okay? Like nothing gets right. Once I break that connection and then I get back in order, it's like it's a sunny day every day. I'm telling you, that connection is A1. And when you come across the point when you feel like, like I said, you feel like you failed your friends or you feel like you failed your family because what they want, you feel like you're not moving in that direction, that's a different topic. It's kind of like a lot of us do not want to say things because we don't want to hurt the other person's feelings. And I'm actually going to do that today. So I'm going to come back and have another episode. I'm actually going to talk to my mom and let her know how I'm feeling because I would say that is step one. If you feel like you're not meeting the expectations or the life that whoever wants for you and it's taken a toll on you, I would say the first step would be to speak to that person and let them know, like, hey, I really feel like I failed at this because you never know. Maybe things are changed and they're like, look, this is your life. I just wanted this for you, but I don't want you to feel like you have to because of me. And that can change everything. And I would say the step two would be once you get all of that information, move accordingly through God. Okay? Move accordingly through God. If you take that information and you move accordingly to you, I don't know. I told y'all, I tried to live life on my own, and it's not that good. Everything needs to be through God because ultimately it is God's will. I get it. We're here in the flesh and we're living our lives, but God already knows how everything is going to end. He already wrote the story and we have no knowledge of it. That's why I do find how important it is to go through God because we don't know the end goal. And that's always been my thing, trying to find the end goal. Now, I'm about to call it a day and just leave it up to God because I don't even know what the end goal is. I have my wants, but I want everything that I do in life currently and for the rest of my life to be through God. And you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So if you feel like you failed anyone out there, the first step I would say is to go and speak to them and let them know how you feel. And, have your own little therapy situation. And, I just want us all to make it because I've been seeing a lot this weekend, okay? It's been like a lot going on. I'm telling ya, get right in faith and read that Bible, okay? It is so much peace reading that Bible. But yes, y'all, I really hope that this helps someone out there, even when you feel like you're failing. Speak about it. But after you speak about it, make sure you get yourself together. You get yourself right. You have to make you the number one. Once you feel like you've healed, now get that connection right with God. Alrighty, you guys. I will talk to you later.